won one.
Yeah. Oh shit, we're going.
+4.
Coyotes come up with a big win on Thursday night, 3-2 over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Welcome to the PHNX Coyotes Postgame Show, presented by Four Peaks. Sports aren't the same without a Four Peaks in your hand. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcast, and leave a 5-star review. I'm Petey. No Leah tonight. She's on vacation in Florida at the happiest place on earth, but we're here today with Craig as always, and our special guest, Jason J.D. Demers. J.D., welcome.
I'm very impressed. You were like nervous about leading this off and hosting, and that was a wonderful start.
Take one.
Wonderful start.
We didn't do so good in
Ray Charles.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah. Well, the Coyotes get a big win. Craig, initial thoughts on tonight's tilt?
Well, a couple things. Connor Ingram, first of all, we're going to talk about this later, I know, but he was terrific tonight. Kept him in it early. They faced the barrage in that first period. Shots that were not on the perimeter, JD.
All perimeter.
They were not on the perimeter. He was money tonight, and he's been money for them for a while. But the other thing that just jumps out about this game, you lose Matias Michelli, you lose Barrett Hayton, and somehow you find a way to dig deep and get this game. It's a tie game at that point, and you got to gut up with a couple key guys out of the lineup. They found a way to get a win. This was an important win for the Coyotes on this road trip. There are 2 games over 500. Whatever happens in Winnipeg now, this is a good road trip.
Well, and you lose defenseman Valimaki on the last game. You lose 2 forwards. So, JD, what does that do to a team inside the locker room when guys are starting to drop and you go, one, your ice time's going to go way up. But what does that do to the morale of the club coming out for the third?
Well, I'm sure some guys are nervous, but there's just such a resilient team. I mean, I feel like a lot of the guys that have been there for a long time have seen kind of everything that's happened. So it's good to see them just have that mentality of next man up, like we were talking about today. And it didn't look, those guys that jumped up, Boyder and Kerfoot, like those are like utility guys that just can go up and down the lineup, and they didn't look out of place. I thought they played a tight third period. They played well. They had some chances, and we were saying, we're like, they're still all over the Columbus Blue Jackets after the first. They played a great game.
That's where you like to have veterans, right? Like you talked about Kerfoot, you talked about Boyd, you talked about Jason Zucker. All those guys had to change roles tonight, and they just fit in seamlessly.
Yeah, but they didn't in the first period. Let's talk about that. That first period, the shots were 17-9. Columbus all over the Coyotes. Just if not for Ingram to keep them in that game, there was no offense by this Coyotes team at all in the first period. And that's a building that I feel you need to get a good start in. That's a hard building to play in and win in. JD had the great stat of the night, though. This first time they've beat Columbus 3 times in a row.
Yeah,
since 2012.
Since 2012.
Yeah,
that is a tough building to play in. It's dark. You're kind of like, that cannon goes off right when you come on the ice, gives you a mild heart attack.
Can I ask you about that, though? The lighting? Because
I hate certain.
Because I worked in all these buildings, and I stood on the bench for warm-ups, and they put me back in my hole where I belonged. But you sit there, and you'd sit and write the lineups and warm-ups, and go, God, this light is weird. And Columbus is one that jumps out at me. Like, do you guys notice, does it make you play different? Like, there's some rinks that are just bright.
Oh, there's some great rinks, and then I always go back to it. Madison Square Garden's horrible
lights.
Horrible lighting. Everybody's like, do you love playing there? I was like, it was one of the worst.
Couldn't see.
Could not stand it. Other than
Calgary?
The walk.
Calgary's on, I always thought. Chicago's were weird. Like,
Calgary's
yellow too.
Calgary's just weird because you don't realize that you're quite high in elevation. So you always wonder why you're tired and out of it. But it's like a sneaky.
It wasn't Cowboys.
This is sometimes Cowboys.
Cowboys. Are you
on a Thursday?
Cowboys?
Of course I was old enough to be God. That's still kicking there, no?
Yeah, it is.
Like 7 people in there.
Move locations.
Yeah, Saddledome's a weird place.
Yeah,
Craig
it's some weird bits.
Some weird smells in that
horrible building, yeah. They need to destroy that. It's just been too long.
Well, and then
just bulldoze it already.
Amen. Right.
So the Columbus gets on the board first. Severson, one of your buddies, and big shot from the point, and one that Ingram might have got back. I don't know if that got tipped off something, but it was just a rocket.
That was a bomb.
Yeah, it was a big shot. And then you go, oh God, but again, no offense again by the Coyotes, and it looked like this is going to be bad. And then Barrett Hayton. Finally, Barrett Hayton is starting to get on the scoreboard.
The dog,
and he's just getting to the net. Right?
Oh yeah, just doing the job that no one really wants to do. And we were talking about it, and I tweeted about it. If you look back at my tweets. Adaptability is huge in the NHL, and guys that are kind of in between top 6, bottom 6, you got to find ways to stick, and you got to find ways to stand out and help your team. And he found a great little hole in between Kells and Schmaltzy, and he's doing the dirty work for him, no pun intended. And he's literally just provided so much space for those two to kind of operate offensively. And it's great to hear Dumba in between periods say that exact thing where he's like, he does the things that no one wants to do. He creates space. And it's, I'm a proud papa.
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's not bury the lead on that goal too. It's not just Barrett Hayton. It's the assist from his first NHL game for defenseman Michael Kesselring,
MK,
who is also a JD disciple that you mentored through the American League.
Tried, yeah.
How was it watching him, knowing what you've helped him put into this game?
I mean, just when you have that personal connection in terms of just talking with guys and you know, guys reach out and ask questions, and you know, we have a good Discord all the time. We're always talking between games, and we've watched some of his AHL games together. But it's always great when you see guys implement things that you talk about, and when you see how good guys can be. And you know, I've talked to both of you. There's a lot of guys in the NHL that just need a mental shift sometimes, and need that little bit extra care and love. And he's a great player. So I've been advocating for him for a few years, or not for a few years, since I played with him in Edmonton and they got traded here. But I'm glad he got a shot. They kind of managed his minutes, but he did well with 11. I think he played like 12 minutes. I did a really good job for a 6. That's what you got to do. You get shots through and you provide some offense.
They were driving offense, right?
Yeah, that's what he was
when he was on the ice. So and that's good to see. I'm glad you mentioned your connection to him, but can you remind people of your connection to Barrett Hayton that goes beyond being a teammate? I wrote about this at some point in the past, but it's been a while.
He made me stave off having kids for like 2-3 years because I wasn't ready. I realized I wasn't ready for it. But no, he lived with me for parts of 2 years, and now he's obviously.
Is that right when he broke into the league?
Yeah, he came like that first stint.
Yeah,
and then he came back, stayed with me, and then it was the COVID year, so we got locked down for COVID, and he stayed with me, and that's kind of where the wheels kind of came off a little bit, where I was like, I don't know if I could do this, because you're just every day with a kid, and he's got that young energy, but he's on to bigger and better. He's in a 2-acre property with Keller now, so he's living the high life. He's
you used
good.
That line on me though in that story. I remember. I think that was it was like 7 outlets ago for me with whoever I was writing for at the time. I think it was The Athletic.
Yeah,
but you used that exact line, like, I'm not sure I'm having kids after having
him. I know what to expect when we get teenagers. I'm just like, oh man, when I get my 18-year-old, this is gonna be different. But he's a great kid, and I just hearing touring you talk about him, Bear, and then Dumba, like he just works hard, and he's putting in the work, and it's starting to pay off. I hope it's not too serious of an injury, but
that's because it's like Hayton luck this season, right?
But he had a goal a couple years ago.
Just started getting going, and he gets hurt. That was 3 and 4 games, and you could have 3 tonight, and possibly 5 to 10 goals before this injury, like where he just had these grade A chances. So you hope he's okay, and hope it's like not short term, but he's finding his game, which is a good thing, and it's a good thing for the Coyotes.
Well, and you mentioned too when we were sitting here watching the game too about how he's evolved, because when he lived with you, this isn't the game Barrett Hayton played when he first broke into the league. Close. Yeah, I mean he was a skilled puck distributor. Probably played a little more perimeter. Then he was slider, and now he's adjusted his game, and he
only perimeter.
Yeah. He didn't.
He liked to chop the onions, but he found out that. And I'm glad Kells and Schmaltzy were like, listen, just kind of get the puck to us, go to those areas. And I mean, you can play a long time in the league playing like that and just hitching your wagon. And they benefit from playing with him as well. Like he opens up a lot of space because, no one wants to do that. No one wants to drive through the middle, kick it out, have your stick, you'd be getting just pounded.
Kesselring almost did today. He tucked her down low, threw up the backhand shot.
That's definitely not something I taught him. That's his own accord. I don't have that. I don't think I ever told you on that one.
No, you're a little more. You had the defensive grit.
That's just it's pass and jump through. I'm more move it and get up. There's no need to be toe dragging.
So you're happy with this game, though? We'll see if he plays again. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean,
usually not on the trip. So
usually Valmaki's going to be out a while. Dermott's not on the trip, so he's going to be in the lineup. I doubt they're going to switch up. You know how it is after a win anyway.
Usually an assist buys you 1 game in the new NHL. A goal gets you 2, but usually an assist gets you 1. So
and this is what happens when Leah's not here. We've already missed 2 of the things we should have done off the top, but let's get right to by the numbers and take a little deeper dive into this game that was supposed to go early. And this is presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Coyotes outshot again, 41-32. Like, that's just what the Coyote hockey is getting outshot. Like,
It
they
was
don't outshoot opponents.
First quarter of a basketball game right
Exactly.
there.
Power play, 1 for 2. We're going to talk about their power play in a minute.
Yeah.
Columbus, they held them off the score sheet 0-3 on the power play. Block shots, 26 block shots for the Yotes tonight for 12 for Columbus. Shot attempts, 53 to 80.
You can't be giving up that many shot
87.
attempts.
Buddy,
Big number.
That's a lot.
How many times are they getting into the 70s
Yeah.
and 80s on these shot attempts? Thanks to Desert Financial for a quick look at the numbers. What jumps out at you on that, JD? Any numbers you want to take a deeper dive into?
I mean, shot attempts, and obviously anytime you look at block shots, it's great guys are blocking shots, but when you're getting over the 20s, I mean, you're a half inch away from it being 50 shots, 60 shots. So it's like they play fast and loose. Their D get up. We were saying they play a lot of Harlem Globetrotter in the ozone, and it looks good on when you're watching it, and it looks like they're buzzing, but they give up a lot of odd man stuff. And we're kind of like, oh, another odd man. And you play with fire like that, because then eventually teams will start kind of, they're 16 games in, you start getting into the nitty gritty, and the teams start playing tighter and tighter, and then you start giving up more and more and getting less and less. So it's kind of something I'd like to see clean up. And then obviously their D zone is always just a little bit, it's too loose at times. And then that, I hate man on man. We were talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime you're following guys around, D or switching positions, centerman's in front of the net. I mean, I don't want Nick Schmaltz net front. I want him leading the charge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so when the puck turns
I
over,
want him
he's
leading
ready
the
to
charge.
jump.
I don't want Nick.
No slight to Nick Schmaltz. It's not his strength.
No,
right?
no, but it's not even
Yeah.
like I don't want Barrett there. I don't want Bugey. Like, unless you absolutely have to. I want when the D create the turnover, they're moving it 3-foot pass or a longer one to a forward who's in
Agreed.
going on the rush. Not exhausted guys that are you're going from, Bugey's getting the puck and he's hitting Dursey who's leading the rush, and there's 4 guys that are gassed. It's like it's good when that happens every now and again, but over time it's just not conducive to winning. I don't think. Like, you don't see you watch all those top teams, Boston, Vegas, it's defend by committee and defend without wasting a ton of energy.
Can we get to the super chat, Danielle? Got a super chat out there from John Steiner, a $5 super chat. Do the Coyotes fly Michelli home in the morning, or does he go to Canada? Canadian immigration may say he does not look like his passport photo. Well, let's hope.
I pray to
Michelli's-
gosh that he doesn't get.
Yeah.
What did he have? We gotta get the
gotta get-
details.
Yeah, we got to get
Like, we are not doctors on the show.
No.
Although
No.
JD does play one once in a while on his show. But
With the wife, yeah, every now and
But-
again. I mean, it's-
Oh, hey, oh,
yeah, well, we
hey,
can't do that.
hey,
Sorry,
now.
sorry.
but okay, we can't speculate on either Barrett Hayton or Michelli's injuries. But by looking at Michelli, the way he was reacting to the medical trainers on the bench, it looked like not as serious mouth injury as what we saw the day before.
Yeah, I guess little surprised that he didn't come back in this game, knowing the mindset of hockey players and seeing the mouth, but we don't know the extent of what happened.
Yeah,
so
day-to-day tooth fairy potentially.
Yeah.
that
What
could
would you
get-
leave for a
I mean,
tooth
he
fairy
could-
for an
it could
NHL
be a-
player? Like, if
it
he's
could be
looking
a
under
good
the
night.
pillow,
Yeah.
I mean,
he's
he
still
could-
young.
He could bank it tonight with
What if
the
they have
teeth
those
he
in the
lost, but-
hotel? I don't know. I imagine you broke into a guy's hotel room before.
Yeah, I've done it before.
Yeah, of course.
We had Brent Burns once. I was in San Jose, and he had he had a concussion or something on his jaw, and they listed him on the NHL site as day-to-day tooth. Yeah, and everybody was like carving him because they're like, "Are you kidding me?" And he's so mad he comes into the room, and so I'm just hoping it's not his tooth that he just lost a couple of teeth. But I mean, I don't hope it's worse than that. I hope it is just a couple of teeth, and then he plays next game because at least they won the game and it's fine. But
Yeah, and they need him in the lineup.
Yeah,
and,
he's
and Same
great.
thing for Barrett. We just don't know what happened to Barrett. It was
I
you could
love
see him
Michelli.
grimacing a bit when he got up, and guys were congratulating him on the goal. But I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
we did the numbers and we saw the shots on goal and the shot attempts. So let's get right to the dog in him.
Yeah,
Star of this game was Connor Ingram.
Mhm.
It's his 5th straight win. 5 straight wins for Connor Ingram, 39 saves. And I was talking to JD during the game, and it was just when Connor Ingram's in the net, he just gives you this sense of security and calm. He's just solid in the net.
and he was that tonight. He was
Yeah.
so calm and poised tonight. Not, we were saying this, Petey, and I don't want to slander Karel Vejmelka, but at times he gets a little
slander away.
he slides all over the place. He does. He gets himself out of position. Connor Ingram always feels like he's in position.
Yeah.
The last 5 games, we mentioned he's won 5 straight games. He's faced 30, 30, 38, 41, and 41 shots in his past 5 games. He's
That's
won them all.
unreal. That's
That's
unreal.
That's too many shots. But
It
you
is too
gotta-
many shots.
At what point do you say, we were talking about that, at what point do you say just ride him? Ride him into the sunset. That's what she said. Ride him.
Ride him. And
as long as, like,
I don't get it.
At least 2 to 1. Why not 2 to 1?
He's 0-4-2.
Yeah, we all caught it, buddy.
All text, super chat. I may not have gotten a puck in warmups. I got so close to getting a stick from Boogie. But regardless of that, I met GMBA. Fun first time in Columbus. He met Bill Armstrong. All text from St. Louis, and he went to Columbus to watch the game today.
What is Bill in the glass watching warm-ups?
I guess
that would be a Bill Armstrong.
Alltech's a mover and shaker, though. I think he's a billionaire. I think he's a secret billionaire, Alltech's.
Yeah, seriously.
He's got a Kerfoot jersey. He's got the mullet going.
Maybe he flies us into one game.
I think
so the thing with going back to the goaltenders, Karel Vejmelka, we know, has crazy numbers against Winnipeg.
Yes.
We know what he did. We remember the game. Was it a shutout that he got there?
Yeah, it was a 50-game shutout. Yeah, First time that team had beaten that Winnipeg Jets since they moved back to Winnipeg.
Fully expecting him to be in goal against Winnipeg, but this is going to become a thing here.
That's it.
He's not winning games. Connor Ingram's winning every game he's in. So
I get the idea of changing goalies. I'm fine with that. Like Boston does it with Swayman and Allmark. Guess what? They win all of them.
Yeah.
Like when you're setting it now, it's 0-4-2 in his last 6.
Yep.
And Ingram is 5-0. Like I'm not a math wizard, but it's time.
Do you go maybe 2 to 1?
Yeah.
2 and 1. Like you give him 2 after this Winnipeg game. If they lose, you maybe go 2 games, first 2 games back on Connor, and then you go to Vejmelka. If Connor loses both or goes 1 and 1,
yeah, you're gonna get a nut.
You know what I mean? And then if
But you're in there in the locker room. The goalies don't know 2 weeks out. They don't. You can't look at a calendar and go, okay, this one, that one, that. You can see a back-to-back and go, I probably, like the backup would go, okay, here's a back-to-back coming. I'm probably going to get a game. Yeah. Probably. But you don't have to announce it. Angie's going tomorrow. That's
do you think that affects them in the sense of like, you're going every other night? So maybe some nights you take, like Vejmelka won't be as choked that he's 0-4-2. He's like, well, I'm going back in tomorrow night. Yeah, so it's fine. Instead of being like, oh, I'm gonna have to earn this.
I think there is some of that.
Or do you
like if you're -2 as a defenseman, you start -3 the next night, then you're you start looking, oh shit, I got to play better.
Yeah, you look over your shoulder. I don't think you would get to -4. You'd be -2, -5 overall. Yeah, unless you're on the Sharks right now, but they're struggling back. I love those guys. The Sharks.
Well, now what do we talk about, Craig? Is there anything else?
Did we crush everything?
No. Shit, I just lost my notes.
Oh, did you? They deleted it?
I should probably read some ads.
Yeah, I was going to say at some point we should acknowledge our advertisers.
You know what? You can go to these games, and the best way to go to games is you go to Game Time. Have you ever used Game Time? I have.
Amazing.
I got my Blink-182 concert tickets, and I waited till Jack and I went downtown, and I got them Game Time on the app, waiting to go into the show.
Really?
Yeah, swear. Unbelievable. They're too expensive, and I'm cheap.
Yeah, I got Taylor Swift tickets on there. It was amazing.
Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. $20. That's phenomenal. There were $13 Cardinal tickets last week. $1 to get into ASU basketball.
That's crazy.
And that was probably $1 too much.
Well, I mean, you can understand why it's $13 for.
Terms apply. Create an account. Redeem the code PHNX to get $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets. Lowest prices guaranteed. And if you're saving all that money, you know where you put it? Desert Financial Credit Union.
It's my credit union.
For more than it's yours.
It is.
You put your
money.
Got
locations everywhere.
You've got more money than anybody. Well,
good interest rate.
Never mind. You usually have more money than anybody on the show, but you don't.
What's your credit? What do you need for credit to get in there?
You got it. Whatever it is, you got it.
Yeah, you've got it.
I'm not too worried about you, JD. You're doing fine.
Cash.
For more than 84 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union, dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions to make lives better. When you open a free checking account online, you get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. Now, JD, we see Michelli get hurt with a puck in the face. We saw Valimaki, where we're changing the pronunciation because it's Valimaki.
Valimaki,
apparently.
So,
what is it like? What is it like being an NHL defenseman in front of the net and somebody's winding up at the point? Take us through what's going through your head when they're winding up. Like for real.
Some of them are so bang bang. Like that one with Valimaki was bang bang. But like obviously which do shoot the puck like crazy. Back when Weber was shooting it and he was having a bad night and he just guys are jumping out of the way.
Yeah. Like I mean when he's on the ice, right? Like when the puck's going back to Weber, you're going.
Yeah, we had a game against Montreal, like one of his last years in AZ, and the puck got rattled around. The goalie was out of the net, I don't know who was in nets for us. I think it was Kemp's was out of the net, and he came down the pipe, and I literally was like, if I get in front of this, I'm probably dead.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try, but I said, he's probably going to put it through me, and he put it through the net pretty much. So it's like those guys, you're always like, they're there. So you're kind of going in like, oh God, like hopefully he just misses the net. But it's part of the job. Like there's also, I was lucky when I started, I played with Evgeny Nabokov, and he used to hate deep blocking shots.
He wanted you out of the way.
He'd be like, you got to play 82 games. I want you clear in the net, no rebounds. He's like, I'm getting paid. Yeah, he's like, just make sure nobody's in front of the net. Roberto Luongo, same thing.
Really?
The puck would go the puck would go to the point, and all you'd hear is move. And it's your goalie behind you.
Getting out
so you're like kind of like, oh my God. So you just take the stick, and he'd always say, let me see the shot. Take the stick, I'll stop it. If the rebound goes in, then I'm going to scream at you because that's your puck. So I get it. And I mean, if you look at the Blackhawks, the year the Blackhawks won, they just stood on the posts and they let any shot go through, and they just took sticks and they just relied on Tini.
Except for Hammer.
Well, Hammer would eat it, but PK is different because PK
dude eats everything.
Yeah, because PK and Hammer was the best of all time at it, like incredible.
Yeah,
and would just there were some times. Like with the amount of equipment he wore too, I don't understand how he didn't break more bones. Like we saw him break his leg, but he wore nothing. It was like it was like he wore basically what Petey's wearing, a cardigan.
I don't get that.
And then other guys.
There's been a few. Zvenek McCulloch was a big shot blocker here, and
shout
those guys are just, and Phil Kessel is on that.
I play men's league with him.
Phil Kessel's not on that list. Phil.
When you have a play like that,
he blocked and he blocked and hurt his foot, and he was so mad. He blocked it. Remember that in Philly?
Phil in the shooting lane. Yeah,
in Philly, he blocked. Justin Braun.
Talk like, what am I doing out there,
buddy?
In the lane.
I've never seen a guy block a shot. Was out of the lane and then screaming at the D up the ice that he hit him because he was giving him the lane to shoot, and he hit him in the foot.
He was a notorious non-shot blocker. Just a little bit outside. And he told Talk, I'm not getting in the lane. I'm not getting in the lane. I'm not going to do it. Like, why? You don't want me to block shots. I just can't believe guys do it. And it's amazing. The fear I would have.
And after it happens, like, did you take one in the face ever? You did, right?
Yeah, a bunch. I mean, clearly my teeth were.
After it happens, after a play like Valimaki or.
Are you more tentative?
Jordan Osterley, who took one in the head. Remember that play? Or Hjalmarsson, when you break your damn leg. Does it give you pause the next time, or you're just right back at it?
Certainly not Jarmy, because the first game back, remember, he blocked about 10 on he blocked on the plate in his leg. He went plate first.
Yeah.
Just full titanium shin bone and just went, you know what, I'm going to eat one. There's sometimes pause, but honestly, it's so quick. You're just more hoping the guy shooting it is keeping it in the net and not doing what Yanni Hakanpää did, who I can't stand, just a big blug riding around there. But he shot it, he misses the net.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're kind of hoping the guy takes care of you and hits it when you go down. So you're going down the block thinking he wants to score, but when they kind of miss the shot, that's what you're worried about. But, I mean, you can't plan it. If the guy rides up on a guy's stick and you take one in the jibs, it sucks. But
well, let's get back to this game a little bit. They score on the power play. This is the 8th time they've scored power play goals in 8 of their last 9, and they've got power play goals in 7 straight games. First time since 2014. So scored by Logan Cooley. Craig, Logan Cooley gets a second goal of the season. Big goal. It was a big goal in this game tonight. Clears and puts them up 2-1. Fantilli on the other side. The Cooley Fantilli rivalry. Is it a thing? Is it going to be a thing?
They're not in the same conference, first of all, so it's not as easy to have a rivalry. But they had the rivalry in college, and everything that I've heard is that these guys don't like each other.
Really?
Yeah. And we were talking like this year, if the Coyotes actually drafted Adam Fantilli, what that relationship would have been like, because these guys, I've heard from many people, they don't like each other. Maybe they would have got past it as teammates. You know how that stuff goes, but
what happened at the frat house?
Yeah, seriously. Well, Minnesota, Michigan, but
college,
buddy. I don't know. I'm just glad to see Cooley starting to show something. Like,
what'd you think of his game tonight? What'd you guys think of his game tonight?
You don't like his game?
No, I do. I want to see those. I've seen the flashes. Yeah. I think he's playing more tentative at times, and when he gets that little confidence and he goes, I want to see that more because I know it's there. And even, so today now, I keep saying one of these days he's going to catch on, and it's going to be like that every time he's on the ice. Because you saw it tonight. He's got the little bit of jam in the corner. He's roughing it up a little bit, using his stick a little bit. He gets to the net, and then the next shift out there, it's almost like he's on his heels. And it's like, I got to defer. I got to move the puck to somebody else. I want to see him go, you know what, this is my show, and I'm taking over. Because I think he can.
I mean, I love him on the power play.
I do too.
He's elite early on the power play.
Give him space.
Yeah, like when
he
you
moves
give
the
him
puck so well too.
I was trying, if he's watching, I'm sure he's an avid listener.
I'm sure he's on the way to the airport right now.
100%. Yeah, like
Isn't everybody?
yeah.
Come on.
I mean, the
Kel's
numbers
on the
are
bus right now. Headphones
obviously
are on.
Kessering will be watching it for sure, so he'll
He'll
probably tell Cooley. But no, what I was noticing with Cooley early on is he has that outside speed, and then he would just, because typically in college, he'd have that outside speed, he'd beat the D wide, clear and be able to cut him. But in the NHL, a lot of guys are going to meet you back at the net, and he would kind of just skate himself into the corner instead of drive it below the hash marks like he could every time. Pull up. Pull up like Kels does. Give yourself space. I think he should be kind of watching what Kels is, because Kels is unbelievable at creating space for himself. Yeah, he pushes guys
took Kels
back.
some time though.
And
Look at his first year.
So I
Kels
think it's
struggled with it. I think,
but he's like straightaway faster than Kels. I think.
oh, for sure.
So it's like it
His
would be an
explosive
easy
speed.
play for him. Just drive wide, turn the D's feet, and it's the hardest thing for a D's. As soon as you pivot to open up, he's pulling up the wall. I mean, and he'd have space for himself, but he kind of just
You need to
that's
get on
the
the horn
tentative
again.
side.
You need to widen your influence here. Beyond
I mean,
Kessel
I'm
Ring and
free. Like
Hayton.
I'm not even charging these kids for this.
Oh, that's actually
info.
good.
I'm
There
not
are
even
some
charged.
ex-players that actually do that. They charge guys to go over their video with them. Why don't we go into that?
I could easily.
I'll break it down for you.
Yeah.
Buddy, let's start talking. I'm the hell with Pee Wee kids. They can't pay for it. Let's get in there. It's all about the money. I'm not here to help their game.
He's not here to grow the game, help the next youth.
Yeah.
Petey's looking for that check, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So right after the power play
The
goal,
rubles.
Coyotes start getting him some momentum. And how much after? Less than a minute after, Lawson Crouse gets his 7th of the year.
Great forecheck.
He's coming on now. Like he's finally getting it. Craig, he said he could get 30 goals. Can he get 30 goals this year?
Yeah, he's on pace for well over 30 now. So, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to stay on this pace. You know how it goes up and down. But
Yeah.
I like Lawson Krause's game, and I've been a big fan of his game for a couple seasons. It's interesting when he signed that extension. I think I've said this before on the show. There was a lot of national narrative that was a bad contract, that they paid him too much. I watch his game. I watch all that he does. I know who he is as a person. No way, man. I love Lawson Crouse. I think he's a great fit, and he's producing now. Scoring goals is hard in the NHL, and he is scoring goals.
He's A1 down the board too, like as a person, as a human, as a leader. He's team first. And I mean, I wasn't worried at the start. I mean, we were talking about it that it was just a matter of time before he kind of found it, because he goes to the right spots, and he has one hell of a one-timer. Underrated shot.
And he gets there 5-on-5
always
between the hash marks, and he's the same spot on the power play.
Gets it off quick too.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, and it's like a short backswing. There's nothing there. He just puts the weight on the stick, and
well,
I mean, great.
He wants Michelli back in the lineup too. So Michelli,
Yeah, I mean, they're all eating.
put a mouth guard in, and now watch me come back, and he's got
put
a
a-
broken jaw wired shut for a week. And I'm
put a
sitting here
cage.
telling
Yeah,
him,
but still put a cage on.
Yeah,
you
you
got
can
it.
still
You're
play.
JR
fine.
did it.
Yeah, I know JR did it with
you
a
could
football
do
helmet.
it. You could take a week.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Smoothies out of a straw.
Can you wear sunglasses on the bench? Because I know the national spokesperson for Shady Rays is right here. They are thinking of changing the name to JD Rays, but they're not. Shady Rays, because JD we've changed him to a Shady Ray man.
Get your Shady Rays.
There you go. Get your Shady Rays. Exclusive for our listeners. Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use the code PHNX for 50% off 2 pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades that are rated 5 stars by over 250,000 and 3 people. Well, 4. I always forget DC behind the Mac. Sorry, DC. I can't see out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Do you have Shady Rays on, DC?
I don't. I
Can't
have
see
regular
you.
glasses on
You
because I
could.
can't see.
See, but you know
Those
the
look
bit,
like Shady Rays,
Danielle,
though.
the bit. Nobody can see you, so
I do have shade.
there.
I have 4
There.
pairs of
Now
shade
you're
rays
learning.
on
There
right
you go.
now.
Now
Take
you're getting
two.
take 2.
I'm wearing
Shady Rays
I'm
take
wearing
2.
their prototype, the invisible
shades.
Yeah, I'm wearing it's a
That's the
prototype.
JD
Out
Rays.
next year in
The
February.
Emperor
Get yours
has
now,
no
pre-order.
clothes. JD has no shadies.
Yeah.
And we all are up here enjoying our 4 Peaks. We are
Oh, yeah.
a proud sponsor.
Gotta
They're
wow
a
'em,
proud
man.
sponsor.
Cheers, boys, to a
And
win,
I'm a
man.
Rattle on Red. I've got the Rattle on Red. in honor of the Diamondbacks going to the World Series this year. I will say this about Four Peaks. They have so many flavors.
Delicious.
There's always one you
lemonade.
can find for what you're in the mood for. And right now, it is fall. Halloween is over, but pumpkin is still on everyone's mind. Pumpkin porter is out. You've got double pumpkin porter that Craig has at his house because he is so bougie.
Do you
That's
consider, question for you guys, do you consider pumpkins part of Thanksgiving?
I do not.
I do, actually. I think
Yeah,
it
Craig
extends. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always wondered that with,
Yeah. What about you?
with America. I mean,
He's Canadian, so
yeah,
it's
Canadian
over.
Thanksgiving. No, but
yeah.
it's somewhat close. But I do think pumpkins have a place in Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Well,
And
then
I-
you can have your pumpkin porter at your Thanksgiving meal, and you can visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find all of your favorite brewery tours and events at Four Peaks. Check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest in Arizona's hometown brewery. You must be 21 and older to drink Four Peaks. Please drink responsibly. Well, let's go ahead and look at the upcoming schedule because
Okay.
we're halfway through this, almost the end of this road trip.
They're almost at the quarter mark of this season.
Are you kidding me?
It's crazy, right?
No, wow,
Buzzing,
how quick it goes.
flying by.
Yep.
So they go into Winnipeg on Saturday, then they come home for 2 LA on Monday, St. Louis on Wednesday before they hit the road
They got to exercise that.
to the defending Stanley Cup champion.
LA, you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That LA King teams are good hockey teams.
They got to exercise that one because if they want a shot,
You got to beat
they're
teams.
going to go through them.
Yeah, you got to beat teams that are
Yep.
that are playoff teams if you want to be in the playoffs. And LA Kings are one of them.
St. Louis, I'm never worried about their.
Yeah, they play well against
It's
St.
just
Louis.
they got their number.
So I'm not worried
Yeah.
about that one. Vegas is a
They struggled a little bit recently. Did they
That's
win
tough.
tonight? Did they end up winning?
I don't know.
I didn't see the final.
I don't know.
But yeah, they're
They're tough in their own building.
Yeah,
It's a good, really good hockey team. So if you look at the upcoming schedule, to me, the Winnipeg game is one of those. It's a tough building to play in. It's a tough team to play against. But I think that's a game that they need to win.
they're my like dark horse right now. I watched
You
them the
like
last
the
few
Jets?
games. They're
Yeah.
that Kyle Connor. Oh my
I know.
gosh.
Yeah,
Skilled
talk
kid.
about an underrated player.
Yeah, he's-
Thank you.
So you heard it from
Underrated to the
JD.
max.
That is the guy to
Ridiculous.
watch on Saturday. Is that Kyle Connor kid?
That's a big game for them because that's a big. I think it's a big litmus test
Yeah, I do too.
for the Coyotes, big time. Because that they are in the Central now, so that's a Central. That's a big game.
And they're tied with Winnipeg right
yeah,
now. in the
rivalry
standings,
game. So that's the team that they're pushing with. So that's gonna be a big one.
You hope they're healthy, right?
Wow,
I think
it
you
is
go
a-
back to Ingram.
It's a
eh?
tie for third.
Gosh, I know Vimmelke had the shutout, but you gotta go ride the hot
But they
hand
won't.
here.
I'm sure it's determined,
4-point
predetermined
game.
already. You're going to say Ingram on Saturday or Vimmelke on
It
Saturday.
is a 4-point game.
Oh,
It's a
big
huge game. They're tied with 18 points. Winnipeg's played one fewer game, so they're technically third in the Central. The Coyotes right now are fourth in the Central. They're holding the second wild card, tied with everyone's favorite pick of the season, the Anaheim Ducks. We all predicted them to make the playoffs this year.
I like them. They're a little.
So as of today, November 16th, the Arizona Coyotes are in a playoff
Oh
spot.
God, are we doing that?
We are, buddy. Buddy, I've been doing this
From
for
October
3 years.
8th.
Oh, we've
man.
been doing this for a while now.
You gotta.
I love
So
it.
that's why I say
one.
that these games. I think these games are important. I think the Winnipeg game is a team that's above them in the standings. Technically, they have to compete and they got to get a point out of that game.
And they're going to be shorthanded too, but this is the next man up kind of game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a win by committee. I think it's one of those you need a big goalie game here. And
Is there a forward up? Do they have an extra forward on this trip?
Milos Kellerman.
Milos Kellerman
Oh,
may
Milos is
jump in the
good.
lineup.
Yeah, he'll
Yep.
play.
Milos Kellerman, and we have to think Kesselring will come back. I don't think Kolya Chonok is going to get his first game tonight,
No.
unless there's other
He'll
injuries.
probably get it back. Question for you: what would you? We saw the lines in the third. How would you put the lines? How would you put the top
With
two lines?
Kellerman in. If
You put Cooley
is
up?
Michelli back? Are we saying Michelli's back and
If he's
Hayton's
back,
not?
yeah.
Or I don't know yet.
They have 2 days or is it back to back?
It's
now?
Saturday.
No, it's
It's
Saturday.
Saturday, so they got a day off.
So you get a day.
Yeah, I got a day to recuperate. So Michelli maybe comes back, but who do you put with Keller and
Kells.
Schmaltz? Because they put Schmaltz in the middle today, and Schmaltz can take draws.
Yeah, he's good. He's
In
a
the
good draw
defensive
guy.
zone,
All
I'd
three of
rather
them
have
can.
Schmaltz up top. But who do you put in the middle then?
I'd put Logan. I'd just try him.
Try it.
Just try it for one game.
Try one game.
Why
Try
not?
or at least a period. Like just throw him in there.
Throw him
Like
in
this
there?
is like a great test to see if
Mm.
it's the eventuality of what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I'd
actually
like to
keep the
watch it.
Bukestad.
Yeah.
If Michelli comes back, Bukestad, Michelli, Crouse stay together
keep
like they
it
have
together.
been. Yeah, I let's do it. I'm all in. Let's call
Let's
Bear
call
after
him.
the
Let's
show.
get. Well, imagine it.
He's
we just
probably
said
listening to
Bear
you.
on the horn.
Changes the line, the way they're going to play in the offensive zone though a lot, right? Because
Yeah,
you-
they're going to be. You lose that net front presence.
Mhm.
Maybe so. If that's the case, and you're missing Michelle, well, I do like. They'll probably put Boyder with him.
yeah, he's done it in the past. I mean, he
That's
played
kinda
with them
very
2 years
similar,
ago.
yeah.
So yeah,
Craig, do you have anything that you can tell people about the TV deal? Do you know anything?
Oh, they announced it. I was hoping you would tell them. Actually,
Well,
'cause,
the good news is now
details.
it's gone from 15.2 to 61, and 61 is on most of your streaming options, including
DirecTV is the big one.
Huge.
That's huge.
the big one.
So now you can go to a sports bar that has DirecTV,
And I can watch a
actually
Coyote game?
watch the Coyote game.
You can go to
Unlike
the
me that just-
DraftKings Sportsbook.
Oh,
Maybe we
have you
do
been
live
there?
from there.
By the
Do
T-
I heard it's
TPC?
unbelievable.
Buddy, it is.
Is it?
It is.
Maybe we could go there, throw a couple bets down
There you go.
with the
So,
Four Peaks Brewing.
I am
'cause
excited
they're
that now you can watch it on TV. I think that's important. So people that are asking, just look at them. That's moving to 61. You can get 61 on DirecTV. You can get it on Cox. You can get it on any cable system in the state of Arizona. Hopefully now this makes this game more accessible to people. I know you can still get it on your antenna, but now it's going to be accessible to a lot more people. And I know that's been a big, fans have been crying out, I want to watch this team because they're better. And they are more exciting to watch now. There are storylines to tell.
Yeah.
And there are things that you want to tune in. So hopefully now this starts to get a little bit of steam and get people watching.
Right.
the
And
games.
as far as Dish, Hulu Live, YouTube, we don't know about those yet.
Not yet.
It's TBD. But we told people when this happened, well, first of all, we told them the circumstances of it, right? They couldn't do much because they were in bankruptcy court and they were prohibited. They were under contract. So it's not like they could strike a deal and with another outlet and say, okay, let's go down this road. They weren't allowed to. So this was a last minute thing that they had to do. And they promised us that they would evolve as the season goes along. Well, this is a big one. DirecTV is a big one. Obviously, there are other things that people want to see solved as well. But this, again, as we said, is a big step. We already know that the Coyotes are available to a lot more households than they used to be on Bally. So that's important for a franchise like this, especially. They need to be visible.
I'm glad. I'm just hoping the people in Tempe are getting it, just to see what they're missing.
Huh.
Hopefully the Tempe. Little shots
know.
fired
I
at
mean-
Tempe.
Shots fired at the
Shot
dump.
fired at Mill
The
Ave.
Lauren Kuby Memorial Dump.
The dump. It's still a dump, isn't it?
It's still
Oh,
a
yeah,
dump.
Yeah,
of
it's still a
course.
dump.
It is still a dump.
Yeah, a dump for another 40 years.
It still is. It is still. We were talking about it during the game. JD said, "Wouldn't it be something if there's playoff hockey in the Mullett?" I am so in for playoff hockey at the Mullett. I can't even tell you.
The NHL would the guys getting escrow would just absolutely
They're bananas.
hate it. There'll be a whole league wide.
Bananas.
Oh, there'll be a whole league wide ban on trying to make sure the Coyotes don't win. Guys will be calling each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Do not
Keep
let them
out.
win this game.
How much could you charge for playoff tickets at the Mullet?
I don't know. Like
Not much more than they're charging now.
I know, I was
in
gonna
the
say.
regular
Those,
season.
those
Yeah, like-
prices are high.
Those
Yes.
are high.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's
it
get
is
a
what it
building-
is.
let's
Call
get a
spade
building built.
spade.
I mean, what'd you say?
Let's get a building built.
Yeah, that'd be nice, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's great to watch his team and see
Broken
what they're
record,
going, but
buddy.
let's get
15
a
years.
building.
15
Wait,
years.
and you know what I did today, Craig? Before I got here, and this is a true story. I went to Circle K to get gas because I have like I need 3 tanks of gas just to get here.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, you didn't have gas, so you need to go
No.
get gas.
No, he fills them up in the jar. He just gets it. He likes to have it.
I have extras. I've
'Cause
got
the experience he
like
has
the
at
guy
Circle
that has
K.
it on the back and my things, like a couple extra gallons just in case.
It's because the experience you have at Circle K.
I love the Circle K, and I got my Circle K snacks right when I walked in. Again, true. I went the chips. Keep getting the chips. Craig wants baked goods. They're not good for you, so go with the.
Apparently,
the,
I'm never
the
going to
kettle
get my
chips.
donuts from
And
Max,
join the
but
inner circle. And it's easy to join the inner circle on your phone, and you can do it actually at the pump. It'll ask you if you want to join the inner circle, and you save 25 cents a gallon on your first 6 fill-ups. As a free member of the inner circle, you can get it for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details, and Circle Ks are everywhere. So go to CircleK.com locator to find the nearest one to you. And JD, the other thing that I know, Anthony Totry's watching Arizona State basketball
yeah,
right
Totry's always in the office while we're watching it.
But you know why?
What's that
Oh,
about?
he moved us from to a smaller TV.
because there's
too.
OGs in the
Yeah, he
office.
did. He
There
did
are
get bumped.
OGs in the office,
that's
and
probably-
Totry's the only he should be the sponsor. Like JD,
You might need
JD
him
Ray's,
tonight as they're playing, as he said,
he
UMass
should be the
Lowell.
OG
He
sponsor.
said UMass
And you know where you
Lowell.
can find your OGs? At zenleafdispensaries.com. So just head to www. Do you have to say that? Only old people say that.
Yeah.
I
Go
like
to
www because you never know.
Dispensaries.com to find your closest location. Order your favorite OG's gummies, and mine are the creamsicle. Creamsicle flavors are fire. For pickup and enter discount code PHNX. If you don't know our discount code by now, just always, when in doubt, put in PHNX. And you'll get 25% off of your gummies
How much?
at checkout. 25%,
Jesus.
buddy.
All right,
That's-
can you do online orders?
There you go.
What?
This deal is exclusive to our
Mama, we're
PHNX
getting
listeners.
stoned
And a
tonight.
reminder, it's available
Okay, I'm
only
just kidding.
online and pickup orders with discount code PHNX. The offer is only available until November 30th. Well, I think up next, Craig, I think it's time we throw up the punch card and just see how we're doing. And basically, we should have the punch card being Ingram and Vedmelka
Wow,
starts.
that'd be rough. That'd be a rough look, actually.
That would be.
Oh, that's not the.
That's not the
actually-
punch
Oh,
card.
I put the wrong
That's
one.
okay.
DC, you were
There
so
we
good.
go.
Schedule.
Man,
There
I
it
was
is.
rolling.
You were so
Look
good,
at that.
DC. Up until green,
So if
red,
you're a
green,
betting
red,
man-
Green, red,
green.
green, red. It's Christmas.
You're on a baccarat table
So
right now.
I want to
You're
address
looking at
that
trends.
actually. Now
You're
that
on
we're
red.
talking about that, the win-loss thing. I know people are frustrated. Oh, they can't string 2 wins
Can't
together.
get 2 wins.
Context matters here. Context really matters here, right?
Can't
So-
I know. I know what you're going at. I
There-
can't wait for
I
this.
don't have any idea what you're talking about because I don't read.
Here's the thing: they're a 500 team on the road right now. They've won 4 of 6 at home. They played a lot of games on the road. Okay, they went to Australia. They played their entire damn preseason on the road because you can't play preseason games at Mullett. It was a tough schedule for the Coyotes to start the season.
Mhm.
They're 8-6-2. I don't care if they haven't won a couple games in a row. I look at the schedule and say, this is a pretty good start for this team. I don't think you should complain given the context of what they've dealt with early in this season.
If they were 500 a year ago, they're in the playoffs. Like they were 8th best, or no, not 8th best. Was it 8th best home record? They're
Can't remember.
really
Maybe
good at
7th.
home.
They're
Maybe
good.
7th,
Yeah, they're
actually.
They were
Mullet
really
magic.
bad on the
They did.
road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had the worst record in the league on the road.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
If they're 500 on the road, they can play 500 on the road for this entire season and just win the games at Mullett.
They're playing 666 hockey at home.
Yep.
You know, I
There you
mean,
go.
you do that and play 500 on the road, yeah, you're going to be in the mix.
And glass half full here. People are saying they can't win 2 in a row. They haven't lost 2 in a row
Yeah.
in quite a while. So they
Yeah.
bounce back after a loss, which is a good thing. Now you just got to get that
Yeah.
consistency
I think they got to
of
be happy where
Ingram.
they're at right now. I
Love
really
you,
do.
Veggie.
I think they're happy where they're at from what you said, going
Should
to
be.
Australia and all these games on the road, that East Coast trip. Like they've
Mm-hmm.
had a tough go at it. And this is another long trip. Like they need an extended stay at home where they can get wins. That's
Yep.
going to be really important for this team.
Agreed there.
Whenever they have it, that it's going to be big when they get back to Mullett. That's going to be huge for
Yeah,
them. But I mean, they're
Make some hay.
And that's why that LA game's so big.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's a
First
winnable game at home.
first game back from a long road trip.
And they ought to
though,
be,
is
they ought to
against
be a
the
little
Kings.
bitter about the way things have gone again. I mean, they got run pretty good when they were out in LA, and then they had the big lead and blew it against LA
Yeah.
at home. So they should remember that stuff.
Yeah,
when
let's
they come
hope
into
so.
the next
And
game.
I think coaches usually do a pretty good job of reminding guys, hey, here's what happened last. Like I know that would be part of the video.
Yeah,
That
bulletin board.
yeah, don't forget. Like don't forget this is what happened last time. And speaking of last time, Craig, I don't know if people saw your article today. I was going to call you Craig Morgan today because I was going to just mispronounce your name. What have you got coming up on PHNX?
Well, when the Coyotes come back home, I'll get to write some articles.
You got to talk to people for real?
Yeah.
Because you haven't had to talk.
Have we told people what we're launching yet? The new video series?
I don't
Should we
even-
tell them? Maybe we
No.
should make them wait.
We're
Just
not
make them
telling
wait.
them. Is that what
We're
the
gonna make 'em
music?
Make them wait.
Okay.
The music
Well,
thing.
I do have a couple stories planned. I am going to write about this goaltending situation because I'm really curious. I've been curious how they are going to manage it if they're going to try and do this for an entire season, which is, you know, Andre said it to me. Oh, you see it a lot on good teams. I'm like, no, you don't.
No, you don't.
You don't see this happen at all in the NHL.
You know,
so
yeah.
Boston is the only team I can think of right now that's going every other. And
Yeah, but that's just an organization that
Wait,
you just aspire to be. Maybe they are
Exactly.
trying to be that, but that is just a
I
Yeah.
don't know any other organization right now that's doing that every other. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and somebody call me out. But they just played the Dallas Stars. Ottinger's getting most of them. I mean, you got Wedgie there to pick up the mail, but you know,
Yeah,
you've
it's
seen
odd.
San Jose. They're not going every other.
They
you know.
can't right now. They need all
Ugh, buddy.
McKenzie's he's eating more pucks than
Yeah, so
than Ingram has.
To hear that I just don't see it as much. I don't know where that's happening. But to your point, if they're both winning, who gives a shit? But when you're going every other and you're losing, you at some
Yeah.
point you got to go, okay, because you know who's going to notice it? It's the players.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
the players aren't stupid. They're
Yeah.
going to look in the locker room and go, what are we doing? Like Ingrid plays, we win. Like, what are we doing? And that's where you start getting a problem.
Yeah. The other guy that I'm interested in writing about is Sean Dursey because we were talking about this earlier tonight. I was interested in that acquisition, and I do think there's some growth on the defensive side of the puck for him. But Sean Dursey's been better than I thought he was going to be. He's made an impact on this team.
he proved me wrong. I thought he was sheltered in that Kings, but I mean maybe it just kind of hindered him offensively because he's kind of coming to his own and he leads the rush. He does great things with the puck offensively. A little bit riverboat gambler at times, but I think
We've seen that around here before.
Yeah, you
Keith
need
Yandel.
you need one of those. But I mean, he's I love Keith, but he's better defensively than Keith, I think.
Hmm.
But I think Keith
It's a
is
low bar, but no,
but
I'm
I
just
think Keith
kidding.
is better. I think
He's listening too.
He's right.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll
Guys,
tell
I
you,
hope you're not
too.
watching.
He's
I'll send you
unreal.
the clip.
He's one of my favorite Coyotes all time.
best PP.
Keith Yanoa, but yeah, the way
Yes,
he moved the
he
puck
was
on the
my-
blue line.
He was my D partner
Sonk,
for
yeah.
Florida.
And do you know where Jersey sits right now?
Is it-
Second in goals by a defenseman in this league, behind
nice.
Quinn Hughes.
You-
Second
You need scoring from the
back end. That's
defense.
why they brought him in
Absolutely.
for, and he's successfully doing it. So I was talking about Craig's stories. If you haven't read his story today about how to pronounce names and how important it is for reporters and journalists
Four names, yeah.
to get it right, read the article. It's a fantastic read. Become a member and a diehard of PHNX. You get a T-shirt or a hat. Not only when you sign up, but every year after that, you get a really cool card. I like the membership card because it's like a black card. It makes you look really important. You get discounts on all of our merchandise in the PHNX locker. You get discount on all events. And we just had a Suns meetup this week. So I know our diehards dived into that, and we have diehard meetups all the time. We do stuff special in the Discord. The Discord is where you get all the stuff and get all the news. Craig drops stuff in there. I do stuff in the Discord, and the Discord is where you can talk about hockey. If you're not a PHNX Discord member, please think about becoming a diehard. Go to gophnx.com and sign up. JD, any final thoughts on today's tilt? Can you sum up today's game for us?
Just resilience would probably be number one. Resilience and, good goaltending as per usual for this team. We were talking about potentially going after, is this the time for Bill Armstrong to pick somebody up or to make a splash? Because you can't waste good goaltending like this. It's hard when you get this good of goaltending, and you look at some of the top teams that can't get a save. Look at the Oilers and what they would give for one of these goalies.
Yeah. Into that.
Let alone, a team that's right on the playoff bubble. Like, this is the make or break in terms of, like, these two guys can get them. Like, watching them play the last few games, and Coyotes are a playoff team. If they need one or two more things, but they certainly can make the playoffs.
So what do you do? And this is the last thing we'll dive into. Craig, do you try to trade one of these two guys? Because our Oilers are desperate. And there are going to be, you get closer to the trade deadline, there are going to be teams, I'm telling you, somebody's going to get an injury or somebody's going to be desperate to win now. Do you put up Vejmelka or Ingram on the trade block and get a return? Or to JD's point, do you get more assets in, like another defenseman, to help this team and maybe get this team into the playoffs?
It's an interesting question, especially when you're talking about the goaltenders. There is a need out there. I don't, I know there was a talk that Edmonton was hoping to get UC Saros, or I'm pronouncing that. Yuse is how I know to say it now because I learned that today. Yuse Saros. He's not going to be traded. So Edmonton needs a goaltender. Look, I know they sent Jack Campbell down. Honestly, Stuart Skinner was worse. Stuart Skinner's numbers are terrible. He's been a bad goaltender this season. They can't go into the playoffs. If they get to the playoffs with what they've got, they got to go out and get a goalie. And with Edmonton being in the situation it's in right now, they pretty much have to do whatever the hell they can over the next couple of seasons, because there's the specter of Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid walking out the door after that. They got to go all in.
Yeah.
So maybe you consider that. Maybe you do consider seeing what you can get for a guy like Karel Vejmelka, who's not signed as long as Connor Ingram. As far as bringing guys in, that's a tough one for me. I don't think the Coyotes are going to have to go. They're going to go after a guy like a defenseman who they might have to sign long-term to a big number. I just don't think they're there yet. I don't think they want to tie up that much cap space and get into a situation where they're going to have a defenseman under contract who's going to run into his mid-30s. You worry about that when they have all these prospects coming up through the system. I don't think that's going to happen. I could see them making a trade like they did for Sean Durzi, where they get a younger guy who's maybe not on a big number and there's room for growth with the club. You can still give up some draft assets, but you don't have to give up probably quite as much, and you don't have to pay quite as much for a club that's nowhere near being a cap team, right?
Yeah. I just wonder, though, because
Broberg in Edmonton is a possibility. He's one of those guys that needs to play 20, 25 minutes. He's too much of a tweener to play a 10-minute role, which they have him in.
Yeah.
He wouldn't cost you anything. He's 22. They've almost all but given up on him. So it's like,
wow. He should
that
be
a
a pro
potential.
scout.
I personally, a great kid. He needs to figure some things out, but I was a firm believer. I think he needs to go somewhere and play 20 minutes a night. which he would play, and he can skate like the wind. He fits this kind of system of more offense driven, and he's not horrible defensively, his numbers. So I mean, I think it's something I would. And you mentioned Edmonton, it just kind of popped in my head. I mean, you could probably get him and a pick for veggies. So you can kind of satisfy two needs.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
and now's the time to take advantage of
Yes.
Edmonton. Like now,
The funny thing is, though, Vejmelka was probably more valuable a year ago when he's putting up better numbers.
Agreed.
His numbers right now, it might be harder to trade him than we think. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they view a small sample, right? It's still small. Like if you still want to sell Karel Vejmelka, maybe now is the time to.
Yeah.
Pull. But listen, I don't want to throw it out there in the universe like this is being discussed.
No,
we're just
Let's
speculating.
discuss
Here.
it.
We're speculating here.
Go.
Yeah, I don't know. I
throwing
just
shit
know
at the
that there
wall
are
right
teams
now.
going to be desperate for goalies, and we're talking. I mean, Toronto was in a spot last year. They needed a goaltender. Edmonton clearly is right now. There's teams that are win now mode, and they got to get stuff done. So it'll be interesting to see. We talked about. I saw somebody in the chat mention Logan Cooley and the Logan Cooley shirt. If you don't have it, go get it. Check out the Go PHNX locker. Because I have it. I wore it the last game thinking he might score, and I don't have it on tonight, and he scored.
Do you have an extra one here, Ed?
No, I have one.
It's a 1 of 1?
No, we have Logan Cooley shirts.
Okay.
I have one. If I would have known you wanted one, I would have got you.
You got to get that signed by him.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool,
Sign
Logan.
Logan. How's that for a giveaway?
Be a lot more valuable than.
Yeah, the Logan Cooley signed shirt. Look at you. Should be in marketing. First you should be a scout. Now you should be in marketing.
I'm a jack of all trades.
You are amazing.
Master of none.
Nice hair.
Thank you.
God, you look good.
Rogaine.
That's why you're national. That's why you're national. Anything else, Craig? Anything else, JD?
I got nothing, buddy.
We got to be back here tomorrow.
Yep.
What are we doing tomorrow?
Yeah, what do you got?
We got Tucson Roadrunners coach Steve Potvin on for a
Potsy.
segment.
We always like having Potsy on.
We'll talk a little Coyotes in the middle segment, and then you're not going to like the third segment. So
I did read
What
ahead.
is it? I want to see it.
It's a Disney segment. We're going to talk Disney. Yeah.
Oh.
Disney movies.
Finally, I can
Glad
chip in.
Danielle's excited about this.
Danielle, you're coming in.
Danielle's still learning the game of hockey. She's working on it, but she does know her Disney.
You're coming in.
If you like children, you'll probably like this
Yeah,
third
so I
segment.
don't
If you
like
like
it.
Petey and JD and don't like children,
I might walk
you'll
out.
probably ignore this.
Barrett Hayton.
Other than I have to host the show, I might walk out if I didn't have to host the show. So in Saturday, there is a rumor we have another special guest on Saturday. Are we announcing or are we holding it wrapped
No,
up?
we can say it. Go ahead.
Or do we want to wrap it up?
Go ahead.
Hold
No,
it.
say it. And it's a
I'm not going
goalie,
to
too.
say it. Do I pronounce it right?
Yeah, you're right.
It's Eddie Lack.
Yeah.
Oh, you're bringing the Lackster?
Yeah, he's coming in.
selling homes.
Selling homes.
Yeah,
he is
selling
going
homes
to
and
try to
stopping
pitch
pucks.
homes.
Oh,
For sure.
100%.
Have you seen his ads, by the way, on Twitter?
His ads are great.
They're
His ads
hilarious.
and
They're
dances.
awesome.
Great, yeah.
I wonder if we could. I know Max would get mad if we
We
showed
might
one of
talk
his
a little
ads.
more goaltending that night.
Yeah.
That's good to
He's
have.
the
Three
guy to
goalies in the
ask.
chairs.
And then a veggie has a stinker.
He's
Bang
the guy to
around.
ask. So
Oh,
Eddie
let-
Lack will be here
let me
Saturday. We've
storyboard
got
this.
Disney tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow at 2:00 to our live show, live every non-game day. 5 days a week we're on.
Yep.
Seems like more than that, but it's 5 days a week. So we're on tomorrow at 2, and we're on the postgame show after Winnipeg on Saturday. And don't forget to follow us on your social media. We're at PHNX_Coyotes for the show. Craig is at Craig S. Morgan. I'm S. Peters Hockey. Jason Demers 5. Danielle Abracadabra. What? Abracadanielle.
Close. There we go.
Abracadanielle.
There it is.
I was close.
Hogwarts.
I was close. Abracadanielle.
Adventure
It does sound
Time.
like Hogwarts.
Yeah, okay.
Adventure Time.
She's a cartoon freak.
Are you Gryffindor or?
I never got into
Oh,
Harry
so,
Potter.
no, Adventure.
How do you
I
not
don't
get
even
into
know what
Harry Potter?
Adventure. I don't know what Adventure Time is.
I don't either. It's a cartoon. She showed us. I don't get it.
I know what it is.
I'm 55. I don't get it.
My
Yeah.
kids watch it.
It's like a
Those
trendy.
OG.
Again,
You get
yeah,
those OG.
liking kids.
It's like one of those
Kids.
trendy cartoons. I don't
Oh,
know.
is it trend? Like
Yeah, it's like
I mean, like when I was
Anime-ish?
when I was in high school.
No, but you got to be. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's not new, but it's also not like super
Jesus,
old.
I thought that was Craig.
I was going
I
to
did
say,
too.
what'd you eat?
Craig,
What'd you eat,
buddy.
Craigers?
So that's it. See everybody tomorrow. Follow us on all your socials, please. What do you do on the podcast? How do you do that? What do you subscribe? Subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. 5-star
What a
reviews. It
guy
really
to
helps us
host,
out.
eh?
Subscribe to wherever you get your podcast, and we will see you tomorrow.
Can I
Come home, Leah.
Can I say one more thing?
Uh-oh. We're not cutting off yet. What's going on?
By Shady Rays. Get them.
We all silly like the mayor.